And guess what her DP was?
What?
Guess.
No, not him and her.
Him and her. Like, do you actually know what that feels like?
Oh. I'm just gonna ask you there. Do you think he was cheating on you because he could get away with it?
Definitely.
Because every time you found something,
definitely,
you believed him or you let him explain it away.
So while he was actually telling me, oh, she's just been told that she's got pregnant, that she's pregnant, she was actually giving birth. I don't even know how I ended up doing this DIY investigation, mate. But in the end, it actually turned out that she wasn't just pregnant; she'd already given birth like a couple of months ago. Like, so the baby was fresh out,
newborn baby,
fresh out.
He had a baby on you.
He had a baby on me, literally. So that was number one. And I was
number one. Are you mad?
Sorry, that was number 20. Sorry. Are you that was that one. So at this point, I was really going into like a dark place. Like, I just wasn't happy, and I was still trying to fight so hard for it. I don't know why I was trying to fight so hard for it, but I really was. And I remember it got to the point where like I even opened back up my faith to God. I was really trying to take God serious, because I was like, God, this is the bone of my bone. It's like, you know how a married woman fights for her marriage of maybe 10 years where there's kids involved, and you know, maybe he can do like all this stuff on you and you'll stick it out because you're trying to like really save your family. I don't know what I was trying to save. There's no family. Me, 19-year-old Pekin, like I had my whole life ahead of me.
Wait, were you 19 or 20 at this point, do you reckon?
Maybe probably 20, but yeah.
You're a young girl, and this guy must be like almost 30 by now.
Yeah, approaching his 30. So I was really like, I was praying about it. I was like, God, like, and I remember asking him like, can you please get the DNA? Because I just really wanted to convince myself that it wasn't his. So I was like, yeah, God, like if he gets the DNA, like let it not be his. He didn't end up getting the DNA because he was like, I know it's mine. Like,
because it wasn't a one-time hit.
Yeah,
he knew it was his because he'd been hitting that name.
You know. He was like, I'm not getting the DNA. Like, calm yourself, stop being crazy. And I was like, please get the DNA so that God can just change the results. Like, even if it's his, like I was like, even if it's his, God just change the results so that he will not be involved anymore. Like, so that was that.
And you still stayed with him? You decided to work through it? Okay.
And then it got to a point, I was in my second year now. So it was in my second year that all this stuff still happened. So we were back together at this point. Things were on a good road. And then I get a call one morning. I was asleep because the call was like 4 o'clock in the morning. So when I wake up at like 7, 8, I'm texting the number like, who's this? She's like, you know who the fuck it is? This is Harry's girlfriend. I said, Chimo. I just dropped my phone. I said, God, Harry's girlfriend. Oh, sorry.
Well, he's out on blast now, so Harry, we done told your shit. So Harry's girlfriend.
Yeah, she was like, this is H's girlfriend. You know, what the fuck are you doing texting my man? I didn't even bother texting her back because I said, so it's another fight now with this person, another fight. I said, go, please, what's going on? Like, I'm getting this girl, like, text me at crazy hours in the morning telling me, oh, she's your girl, that why am I texting you? Of me that I've been with you for 3 years now, or maybe 2 years. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, I can explain. I'm so sorry she reached out to you. She should have never have done that. I'm so angry with her. Like, I'm gonna tell her off. I'm gonna defend you. Like, you know, probably just getting me gassed. I was like, okay, yeah, he gonna show her. He gonna tell her. Like, I was feeling so cool. I remember I was supposed to go into uni this day.
And
is
this his baby mama?
It turned out it was the original girl. The Yardie.
So he had a baby on her too.
Ooh. And the thing is, like, all these girls that he was with, including me, like, we all thought we were in serious committed relationships with him. And he had made us out to the other girls that we were side things, we were crazy, or we were friends, you know. Do you get what I mean?
Wow.
Like, I thought the other girls were side things and they were just friends.
Spun a whole web of
and that's what they thought of me. So yeah, it was
so how did the truth all come out in the end?
So I ended up having a conversation with that girl, the Tatiana, the Yardie.
Okay.
against his wishes, but she basically kept on contacting me anyway. She was like, I want to know the truth, and I was like, well, I want to know the truth. So we spoke, not for very long, briefly, because he was in the room and he was actually getting a bit violent, because she kept speaking to me and she wouldn't put the phone down on me, and he was like, put the phone down, and now stop telling her. So it turned out they'd been together on and off for quite a long time as well.
Longer than you, maybe? Was she like the original, do you reckon? I'm sorry, but we need to get to the bottom.
I was not the side. At 4 years, I was not the side.
Okay,
no.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like I said,
What,
he was literally like smashing
yeah.
up the place, like
Yeah.
while she was on the phone to me. So she was like, "I've got to go. He doesn't want me to say anything anymore now, and he's getting like violent." And I was like, "Yeah."
So wait, he was with her, or he was
That
with
day,
you?
that day that she
he was
texted
with
me,
her in the room.
he was with
okay.
her. So maybe we'd spoken on the phone or whatever. And she was like, "Who the fuck is this girl?" So that's why she texted me.
Yeah.
And she was still there that following
Yeah.
morning. And it was, I had a very close friend at this time, shout out to you, Susan, if you're watching, and she was just literally like in awe of just this whole mad situation, and she didn't even know what to do for me, but she was just there, and it was, I couldn't even imagine like if I was on my own, because we lived together.
Yeah, it's good to have someone there.
So
you lived with who?
No, I lived with Susan. Yeah.
Well, I can't take it.
Yeah, so at this point, I was, you know what, 2.5 years in, I was like, I've given this relationship my absolute all. I've tried to be a bit more of a nice person. I felt like I tried everything to try and keep this person in my life and keep the relationship that I had in my head going. And I just had nothing else to offer. I was so confused. How can someone just keep repeatedly hurting you like this? Like, bitch, because you keep allowing them, that's why. But I was like, at the time, I was just like, it doesn't make sense. And I really, I'd say for about a week, I just was besides myself. I don't really like to use the term depression, but yeah, let's be honest, like I was really depressed, and I can't even believe I'm saying with my own mouth that I was depressed over a guy, but I really was.
Like we've all been there.
I really was, and I just remember like I had important sessions at uni that day, and I couldn't go in. I was really hurting, and it was the type of hurting where you're hurting emotionally, but it has physical symptoms. Like so my chest was tight for days, my head was hurting, like my eyes were constantly red, even though I'd finished crying like maybe a couple of hours ago, but my eyes were just constantly so red, and I just didn't want to have that type of pain anymore. I really didn't. Like to feel that type of pain and to not be able to escape your own mind when you're in that painful situation. I was looking for like an escape route. I was like, where is the way out? Because I can't stay like this. So I started like drinking and mixing drinks with tablets, and I was really just kind of hoping that I wouldn't wake up. Not because I didn't love my life or my family or nothing, it was just because I was hurting so bad and I didn't want to hurt anymore. If they could say, oh, take this drug and you'll forget everything and you won't hurt, then I would have taken it. But I didn't know anything like that. I don't think anything like that exists. So only because I don't want to wake up, because I just didn't want to be crying again the next day. I didn't. And yeah, so I started like mixing drinks with tablets, but I feel like low-key I really wasn't going to do that because I actually love my life, but I was like really that wrapped up in it. Yeah, I was out of control. Like my friends would just try and get me out of the house, like just come around. Like I was like, yeah, but no. She said, no, just literally get yourself here now. Like sometimes they come and like drag me out of the house. So after that, I think maybe a month went by again. We didn't really talk, and then we started talking again, and then we got back together, and obviously now he's got the baby.
Got 2 babies.
Yeah, he's got the two babies. He's got 2 babies. He's got the Yardie girl, which I believe at that point she was actually out of the picture, because for the remaining 1.5 years that I was actually in the relationship with this guy, she didn't really crop up again. But the person that was cropping up was this Madame EasyJet.
EasyJet. Oh no.
So yeah, she just kept cropping up in one way or another, and at some point like she was reaching out to me and I was reaching out to her, even though like obviously that was never my intention, because what can I start discussing with you? But he'd really like done a number on the both of us in terms of him making her believe that I'm just like some friend that is, you know, maybe he hit it once and I just can't get over it.
Yeah, you know how men be doing.
And the same thing with me about her. Like he would spin that same thing to make me believe that she was just like some crazy someone. So yeah, I just had a lot of fights with her actually. It got to the point where we were going back and forth on Snapchat. So I had a Snapchat. So I would always snap when I was with him, and she was always snap when she was with him.
You guys were doing sister wives.
We were doing.
You knew you were sharing this man.
We were doing sister wars.
Sister wives wars. You guys knew about each other, and you were still fight.
But
wow.
He's in each of our ears saying it's over, and then when I see the snap of her and him, I'm like, oh, I'll address it with him, and then the same. So it was a really weird and vicious cycle, to be honest. Like these are not my proudest 4 years. Oh yes. So at one point it stopped. Like there was no communication. Like I believed that I was fully with him. Like I stopped talking to her, she stopped talking to me. Like everything was just kind of calm. The storm had calmed, and I can't remember what triggered me, but I got triggered and I basically like let it all out. That because I'd only like said like a couple of things here and there, but I let it all out, like the whole story, like the whole scenario. I put this meme of, you know, them Kermit the Frog memes that were going around back in the day, like when you think you're with your man but he's in my DMs and stuff like that. And I did this whole story just basically explaining like that she'd been played this whole time. Like I've been with him since 2012 or 11 even it was, and I put like pictures up and just chats and everything of him saying like he loves me and all of this. Like I literally did a whole story of our relationship. And she was triggered and she called me immediately, but I didn't pick up her phone call. But I was just, you know when you just like dropped the bomb and you've left it,
yeah, just let that
and you just, I'm just let that marinate, okay. Then he started calling me and was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like why can't you girls just like
get along? Why can't
why can't we all just get along?
Wow.
And be at your beck and call, yeah.
You know? Just share the deed. Be happy sharing the deed.
And she was in retaliation. What she did, I think she planned this because she waited like until everything had calmed down. So they must have run out, and I don't know if it was her birthday or whatever. Yeah, I think it was her birthday. So they must have went out, and he gave her some type of gift that was in a little box, and she deliberately put it on her story so that I would see, obviously. And it legit looked like a proposal, because then she snapped. Like she didn't have any footage of him actually proposing to her, but she showed like the ring, the box, and then she had like a snap of like a ring. My dear,
you lost it, didn't you?
At that point, I was actually like, nah, I'm done. I went on the drive. I don't know where I was going. I called my friend. I was like, Deborah, like I'm done. Like this is it now. Like actually see you later, because I can't do this anymore. Like it's too much. Like what kind of sick person does that? Like yeah, I know we were playing all these like social media wars games, like trying to piss her off, her trying to piss me off, but she took that too far. Like she knew exactly how the fuck that would cut, and she almost, I'm like, fam, do you know you can actually take, that's actually like enough for someone to take their life, you know?
Let me tell you
that's
something.
Actually the last straw.
No, I'm not gonna like you're sitting here, I love you, but I'm sorry, but if you guys are in an open war where you both know you are fighting for this man, all is fair in love and war. Y'all are acting like mad people.
Yeah, we
so what?
like
She put a ring and it triggered you, and that's not fair.
That's not fair.
She ain't cut you. She ain't like put a baby.
Listen, Mimi.
That's within the scope. I'm coming for a bitch's neck, I'm coming for a bitch's neck. You know, that's a KO. You know, you were playing baby steps. She came with the King Kong.
She came with the KO. She came with the KO. I'll give it that. And she can have that because her man is trash. So that's
what,
fine.
they're still together? Don't lie to me.
I think they are. I don't really know. At this point, I really don't pay attention.
Wait. Can I see who this man is that
I think he's
had 2 baby mamas, 3 side chicks? What's his?
Let's have a look. So I was
do you know what the thing is? The thing is that you obviously saw it and you realised that it could very well be true. You didn't see that and think, well, that's obviously a prank, whatever. You saw it and you thought, well, that could easily
because
be
at this
true
point
because
we'd fully broken up. Like,
okay.
we'd fully broken up. That's why I said she planned it because she waited. Because obviously after I triggered her the last time, we basically just saying, yeah, we've been, you know, telling the whole story of how he'd been cheating on her and making her look stupid.
Oh, so at that time you guys were broken up as well?
No, at that time we were together when I triggered her, and she still stayed with him because I think a couple of days after I'd done that whole Snapchat story and she tried to contact me, and we all had this like 3-way fight. Like a couple of days later she was in his car snapping.
Wow.
So she was trying to show me that she wasn't bothered, that
she's hanging on.
She was hanging on by the last. I thought I was hanging on by the last thread, but thank God my last thread snapped.
Thank God she even
did that.
Yeah.
Because if she didn't do that, I'd probably still be hanging on.
You'd be lost in the sauce still.
I would have been lost in the sauce for
a
much longer time.
Do you still speak to this guy?
So fast forward a little bit. Where am I fast forwarding from? Yeah, so obviously that proposal was just like the end for me. I was like, okay, actually enough is enough. Either I'm gonna live a fulfilled life and forget about this guy, or I can go and throw myself in the dustbin. Yeah. Like, you know, it's nobody's problem but my own. So moved on a little bit, months went by. Thank God, like I started my first graduate job after that, and everything was kind of alright, like in other aspects of my life. So I was able to kind of distract myself, and you know, like I said, I was a bad bitch, so I was getting other attention. And at this point, I was willing to entertain it. I'd always been getting attention throughout the relationship, but literally, like I said, I classed myself as engaged or married to be. So I was never entertaining it. So at this point, I was speaking to other people. So I had distractions. Not that I was over it by any means, but I had distractions. So we didn't talk for like a good 6 months. Now that was like a record, because anytime we broke up and we weren't talking, we were always like really low-key talking. So for me to not have contact for about 6 months was a lot, and it did a lot for me. Like, it got easier. It did get easier. I wasn't wholly back myself then, but it was easier. And then somehow we ended up talking again. I was just at this point, there's really not much I can do about that whole situation. It's kind of done now. So I could have a conversation with him and be like normal. Like, we talk and say, oh yeah, I hear you're working now. I was like, yeah, I'm working, got a new car, like everything was fine. I was actually dating the person that I'm dating now at that time, but obviously we weren't exclusive. So I kind of had him like on one side, and the guy that I was dating on another side, and another guy that I was dating on another side. So I went on a bit of like a trio. I was like, well, since I'm cute now or whatever, like, let me just play my own games. No. But I was still quite bitter about the whole situation. Like I said, even though I was getting better, I was still quite bitter. And I feel like I was more bitter with the lady involved because of that last stunt that she pulled. Like, I just could not get over that.
Was it a real engagement?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Okay. Although they have a baby together now. Baby father of three different women.
Wow, this man.
That's her trophy.
This man.
That's her trophy, mate. That's her trophy man. So she can have that trophy. Like.
So this is EasyJet, that had the baby with him.
EasyJet.
Is she Oyinbo?
No, she's one Zimbabwean girl like that, mate. I'm sorry, I'm really coming across like trigger some people.
No, but he really be getting about the whole continent, man. Yoruba,
Oyibo,
you know,
Yardi,
Zimbabwe, yeah,
Yoruba.
Like he really be. He doesn't discriminate.
He doesn't discriminate me at all. Like, and I was here talking about, oh, he's Igbo, like,
thinking that meant something.
No. So. Yeah, so this was before she had the baby though, so I was really still like really triggered by what she did. And I was like, you know what, fuck her up, I'm gonna get her back. Like, I'm gonna fuck her up, because now that her man's talking to me, obviously I'm not interested in having a relationship, but I'm willing to go there just to get receipts and throw it back in her face. And I don't know, it's just the grace of God that stopped me from doing that rubbish, because I know I would have got entangled in that web again. But literally, like, we were gonna like meet up, and I was gonna be like, yeah, let's meet up, let's do a thing, I'll take my pictures, and I'm gonna literally like flaunt them, not only in your face on social media, I'm gonna flaunt them in your friend's face. Like, I'm gonna make sure that everyone knows what your man has been up to, the man that you're dying so hard for, that you wanted to kill me in the process. No, that you wanted to kill me in the process. Like, no, I was like, you're gonna learn today, honey. Like, don't ever try and fuck with me like that, because she really triggered me with that one. But in the end, I was just like, you know, when you're kind of getting better,
like, it's not worth it. Maybe
there was no real like motivation. Like, even though it would have been nice to get back at her, but it was just
just didn't care enough about it.
Just bloody long. Yeah, like I said, I was actually dating someone at the time, so
thank God for that.
I was like, yes, thank God for you. Are you mad? Are you mad?
Do you know, like when I saw you earlier, and we were like, let's see who's got like
the worst.
Deepest,
I told you it was gonna be me.
The worst story time. You shocked me, you know.
Guys, vote, please.
Vote. You guys know
we're gonna do a poll.
Okay, wait, first of all, let me just remind you guys what I've been through. I've had the druggie that had a missing tooth. I've had the alcoholic that started crying on our first date about how his best friend died. I had the guy that turned out to be a gay porn star. Like, I had the one that was actually catfishing me. It was actually a girl that I spent 2 years of my life talking to, and it was actually a lesbian, you know. Yeah. So yeah, this is just the ones that I can remember off the top of my head. Like, so this, like, honestly, I would say this is on par just because of how long it took.
Yeah, that's
you
different.
aren't gonna run me for 4 years like that.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
if
sorry.
you were Yoruba,
sorry.
let's see how you would have felt.
If you're a bad one, I rebuke you in Jesus' name.
Let's see how you would have played.
But it's mad because the thing is, like, men really be doing the most. Every single one of you girls, I'm sure my guy had convinced them that they were the number one, they were the main, There are really some shady ass men out there, guys. Yeah. Watch your back. If you see signs, believe them. Believe them. If this man is showing you who he is, believe him. To the point where you were actually sister wife, like you knew about the other person, and you guys were still fighting over my guy. I'm shocked. I'm shook. Like, this guy must have had something real special. I really.
There was absolutely nothing special.
Where you at? Call me.
I'm sure we can drive by. We not far. You know what? It was, honestly, there was really a point where I was just affected. Like, I had thoughts about like pulling up and like ruining his car, smashing out his windows. Like, I had so many thoughts of like how I'm gonna get my own back on these people, because, you know, like I said, as I was realizing that, okay, you know, you've actually just been played for 4 years, then all my kind of frustration that I was like, oh, well, why is this happening, turned into pure anger. Like, I was very angry at the two of them. I didn't even know how I could keep calm with him on the phone and stuff and just be like, yeah, I'm good, like acting like I'm Gucci and I've moved on. But I was really, 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 really like hurt and angry.
But let me tell you something, darling. You won. And do you know why you won?
Oh, I know I won.
Because you ain't got no babies. You are not the fourth baby mama. You are not tied to this man for the rest of your life. What he's done to all of you, he's going to keep doing to her.
Yeah.
You know, she's fighting with another girl.
She's fighting
over
with
the
another
same
girl,
man.
for sure.
You know, he is a pig, an absolute pig, and a careless one. Because where you can take 4 years of somebody's life that you love and be that reckless, you're an absolute disgrace. Yeah, absolute fucking disgrace.
No, he's actually a demon. No self-control whatsoever.
God will punish you.
I really had some horrible thoughts towards him. Like, I really wished him like so much evil.
But guys, I'm gonna sign off here. Me and John are gonna actually go for lunch and have a bit of coffee and cake. I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. I hope it helped somebody. Let me know your thoughts below in the comment section as always. And thank you girls so much for coming on. Don't forget, you guys can check her out on her channel, flashing on the screen. And yeah, if you guys want to share your stories with me, I'm more than happy to hear them and listen and judge you, bitch, because y'all been judging me for years, okay?
You read the hell out of me.
I did.
You read the hell out of me.
But I was a little bit like, whoa.
Yeah, no,
you know, but I'm just
I was gonna myself.
Yeah, I just want to help people. Like, I'm not gonna like hold punches. Like, you know, we have to take accountability at some point. Someone can only treat you how you let them treat you. The thing is, you were young and he was far older. He knew what he was doing. He knows he can't get away with that shit with somebody who's been around the block, dated and experienced.
I was young and I just wanted to deceive myself into to keep the reality that I thought was actually my future. And
we've all been there. I remember the guy I was dating when I was 21. I thought for sure he was the one I was going to marry. I was head over heels. Married with 2 kids. Yeah, I forgot that one as well. Married with 2 kids and lying about it. Yeah, so we've all been there. Anyway guys, I'm Amy, just doing me. We are looking good,
feeling good.
Hey, you're a good one. She knows what's up. She knows what's up. Hey, we'll catch you guys soon. Besos.
What's besos?
Kisses in Espanol.
Okay.